Hi everyone, it's Logan here, and today I just wanted to give you a in-depth walkthrough of my 2025 Spooky Town Halloween Village, which I have named Cemetery Hill City. If you saw the little short video I posted earlier this week, that was for Carl's uh, Halloween Villages by Carl is putting on a village competition kind of thing where if you get first through third place, you get a little prize. So you have to post a under 2 minute video. And I did that with some voiceover. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. This will be the detailed video where I kind of talk about everything that I've done, go into all the pieces that I have, and kind of my thoughts on how the village ended up and where I want to go from here. It is daytime outside. As you can see, I have the blinds closed, but there's still some ambient light in the room. So this is what the village is looking like during the day. And overall, I am so very proud of myself. I'm really happy with how the village ended up. There's a few things that I would have changed about it or that I might change for next year. And this is the overview. It goes from a little kind of show concert into our city street here. Then it kind of goes into our mansions along the back, the graveyard in the front. And then we have the little trolley train stop over here, hotel, mausoleum, palm reading store, telephone company, costume shop, and then the magic shop. And I have the magic shop off because my rabbit there never stops making noise. I do have a few older pieces like the RIP mausoleum that I've had since I was a child. That does make some loud noise, but we'll just deal with it for now because nothing is more irritating to me than this popping rabbit. All right, to kind of get into some history of me with villaging, I had a family member, an uncle that did Christmas villaging. My grandma on my dad's side as well had a pretty extensive Christmas village on her giant fat back TV that sat on the floor from like the 70s. And she had that thing for a really long time, probably into the 2000s when I was a kid. So I always remember her like ski hill and all that stuff. And when I was a really small kid, probably around 8 or 9, we have a local store in the Midwest called Menards, and they sold Limex pieces as Pumpkin Hollow. So the first piece I ever got was the Rest in Peace Mausoleum here, the RIP Mausoleum. And that piece is very special to me. As you can see, it's has a really important spot here. And it's the thing that kind of, I was obsessed with Halloween as a kid anyways, and this really kind of manifested into my obsession with all of this. So from there, that piece, and I then got the Grimm Hotel, and then I actually have the Spooky Town Funhouse as well, but that piece is not in service right now. I just have it in storage because it doesn't match the vibe that I have. But from there, I took a huge break. I did not buy any new pieces for years and years and years. I grew up, I went through college, I did all that stuff, and then a couple years ago now, my mom was going through all the Halloween things from when we were kids, and she's like, do you want me to get rid of these or give them to Goodwill? And I freaked out, and I said, no way, and we got them. I then last year made a smaller village. It was like one of these 2-foot by 4-foot tables. Now I have 3 of them. And then throughout the past year, I've just been gathering pieces, getting all the pieces that I would have wanted back in the day that, I thought were so amazing. Like all these awesome houses and mansions along the back. This one in particular, I always really wanted when I was a kid, but I was a kid. I didn't have any money. And I also, I was into model trains and things, and that took precedence over this. So that's kind of how I got into the hobby and how it all has started. And now it has ended up here with Giant Spooky Town. We'll start here on the left side of the village, and this, like I said, this was the last area that I finished. Sometimes my Symphony of Screams moves, and sometimes it doesn't. It also doesn't make sound anymore, so I feel like it's failing, but it goes sometimes when it feels like it. So this is the little, I'm calling it the Pumpkin Festival area. I think it's super cute. I made these fences by hand here, and they are carved foam, painted foam, and then I put an HO scale model train fence at the top here, a little hairpin fence. We have two skeletons in a wheelbarrow getting a little crazy. This guy welcoming people in. We have our ghouls and goblins hanging out by the fire. We have a pumpkin guy over here, and then in the back there's a zombie crawling out of the woods. So I think this ended up really nice, and it's actually kind of cheeky and kind of funny, which I like. It then goes into the more city area, and this area has the Fright Night Cinema from 2025. I got that new this year. The Phantom View Apartments, Zombie Records, and then the Nightmares video, which is also new this year. And not the hot glue. Ugh. And this area, this was the first space that I worked on. So I was still kind of learning as I went. And I had so much fun doing this and just kind of learning how I wanted to do the landscaping and everything. I added in a lot of nice details here with the black cat crossing signs. I cut these down myself because they were really big, and they did not match the scale at all. So I added one in there, and there's one along the back of the village as well. These streetlights are really old. I think they're from like 2003 Lemax or something. I think they've crapped out. They don't work with batteries or with my adapters anymore, so I might have to replace those with some new streetlights. But I like those because they give off a eerie green glow, not like a typical white glow like these. Fright Night Cinema is a instant classic. I even did a little bit of, roughing up painting myself here, a little dry brushing to bring out the details, which I think it needed. Side note, Phantom View Apartments. I love this piece with my whole heart. I love ghost pieces the most. It has really a lot of fun animation on it and everything, but there's one thing I don't like about this piece is that the street lamp does not light up. I don't know why Lemax will do that sometimes, but I think going forward, if they're gonna have a street lamp, it needs to be lit up. Like, that should just be how it is, because there's a lamp right here. And I don't understand why they do that. But anyway, Zombie Records, love it. I got that one because me and my boyfriend collect records, and I always joke around that this is us going for a walk, which I think is cute, with one of our two dogs. And then we have Nightmares video, which is new from this year. Again, I think another instant classic. It's just so great. These little bushes, this clump foliage here, is from a model train hobby store as well. A really great resource if you have one in your area. And I put some of the little fake fall leaves that I get from Amazon on top of it to give it a little spooky air about it. This was another one of my custom lighting situations from Evan Designs. I have done a lot of wiring and working with tiny little LEDs to make this whole city come to life, and you'll see them throughout. But that's the first one we've seen so far. In the back here we have the Goosebumps Manor house, which I adore because I grew up loving Goosebumps books as a kid. I wish the light inside of the house was brighter. It's green, it's really dim. But the porch lights up and there's black lighting outside, so that's pretty cool. I will go, I'll go to the right to the cemetery, and then we'll go along the houses along the back. So in front of the trolley line here, what does it say, Jekyll and Hyde line, we have the Bloody Belfry Tower. And then right next to that is our cemetery. And this is what I wanted to be the main focus of Cemetery Hill City. I love this view. This is exactly what I had in mind when I was building it from scratch on my computer, doing the layout. This is what I wanted. So originally in my plans, I thought that the graveyard was going to be a little bit bigger. So that's something that I wish it was. I wish I didn't make this so wide where the trolley is. I wish it was like half the width, so it was a little bit bumped up, and there was more room here. But that's in the past now. I can't, fix it. And like views like this make me extremely happy. It makes me so, I just love it so much. I love this village. In our graveyard, we have a custom red LED that I put in from Evan Designs. It goes really nicely next to the tower there, and it does shine on the Jekyll and Hyde line as it goes by. I have the The black lighting from Lemax here, shining on the front gate. I wish I had, looking back again, I wish I had 2 more of these to bring down and put here. I just really love ambient lighting. I think it gives, and it takes everything to a new level, and I think it's really important. So looking back, I might put in 2 more of those. I know those are discontinued though, so I might have to put in something else. But we have a little bench. I love this light so much, so much. Little cat sleeping on the gravestone there. Just really fun, creepy vibes in the cemetery. I really adore it. All right, so then we'll go back over here. We have the Black Cauldron Inn. That's a super old Lemax piece. I adore it so much. There's a witch in the door, and then I also have a little girl in a witch costume out front. I just think it's a cute little nod. Then we have 2 of my favorite Lemax just haunted houses. I think this one, forget the name of it, that is one of my favorite pieces of all time. I got that on eBay last year. The architecture just does it for me, and I love that with the soundtrack it lights up along with it. It just looks great, and I love all the lightning. Then next to it, I already said that I love this piece a lot. That is one of my favorite ones. Can't remember the name of it either. But this one as well. Again, I love the architecture of it, the gothicness of it. I wish it had more out like lighting on the outside of it that wasn't just the lightning flashes. There's a couple black lights here, as you can see, but they're really dim. So that's another piece that I wish was a little bit more brightly lit, maybe even from inside as well. We have a little creepy guy standing outside of that one. Then going to the right, we have the cemetery tours, which has steps to go down into the cemetery here. That was the whole plan here for the village. I originally was gonna have the train station there, but the train station has moved to the end of the line, which I guess technically makes more sense. Next to that, we have the Withered Mansion. I love that piece. Again, it has a little tree included on the left side by the moon there. It has an interior scene. There's cats everywhere. You know, it has the lightning flashes, it has the green, it has the yellow lighting. It's just perfect. And as a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, I have Black Cat Crossing out front of that house because, duh, there's like 10 cats in that house. So I thought that was kind of funny. Here we have Grimsley Manor. Honestly, I just needed something to fill this space, and I had it available to me. This was actually on my desk at home, and then I decided to put it in the village. We got the newspaper, skeleton man outside, and then we have a little craggy path to go to the train station here, and you have to walk by a coffin, and you have to walk by the Grim Reaper on the way there. Let me go around this way. So then this view, which I kind of love, has the Phantom Station there where you get your tickets to go on the Jekyll and Hyde line, and a Welcome to Spooky Town billboard, because that just makes sense for when you get off the train, you know? And then we'll go this way in. We have 2 houses here. This was another one that I got when I was a kid. I think this actually, I might have gotten this one before I got the Rest in Peace Mausoleum. But this is Boogeyman's Hangout. Really old piece. I love that it's like, it's heavy, it's porcelain. It has 2 moving pieces, but he no longer, well, he goes back inside, but the door doesn't close anymore. The spring broke. So that's that. It has a fun soundtrack. It's a great piece. Again, it's really big, like it's solid, and I just love that. And then next to it we have the, I forget what this is called, something like Insane House or something, Madness Manor. Madness Manor, that's what it's called. I love this piece too. It has a fun soundtrack. The lighting goes with the soundtrack again, which I love. See, it lights up in there. There's like a dance party of ghosts in there. It's kind of like a possessed house vibe. And out front, I have 2 creepy little twins holding hands because they would have come from there. That little girl wants you to go into that house, and they're gonna help her. You know, don't trust any of them. The storytelling here is really great. Okay, so we'll go to the last 2 bases here along the right side, and then I'll get into my final, I guess, what I'm thinking about the village and what I want to do next year. So we then transition from the train station into more city area, but these buildings are set up kind of differently. Again, I apologize for how loud the crematorium is on the mausoleum. It's old, so this is how it is. But we have the Grim Hotel, which is another classic Spooky Town piece. Got that one when I was a kid. Unfortunately, my Grimm Hotel sign up here is broken and missing, which I'm sad about. I looked on eBay for one, and of course no one's just selling this sign. But together I think these three look great. I think the architecture complements each other. And then it's so lovely to see how these newer pieces can mix with the older ones. Like, they really work well together. Some of the newer pieces, like the Magic Shop I have here on the end, are quite plasticky and they don't mix as well, which is why it's over there. So this little area is another one of my favorites. It's very really blacklight heavy. I have the two blacklights here, and they have, this building has blacklight on the outside, so does the mausoleum. So the Grimm Hotel, love it. Got a creepy guy pushing people's luggage. Really great soundtrack on that one as well. And we have a kind of a really scary looking woman. And we have the drop dead box for the tape return for the Nightmares video, which is across town. So a little box you can drop it in if you can't make it over there. We have a woman getting scared by a ghost. This is one of my favorite pieces. It's actually kind of really scary. That ghost is really scary. And then behind it we have Dracula and a bat with a little, I put this light in myself. That's another one that I was really proud of because it's a flickering orange bulb and it just looks so great. Like, of course he would be laying in front of the mausoleum like that, right? Spooky Town is a crazy place to be. Then next to that we have The Future Looks Dark, which is palmistry and tarot place. I love this one for the little signage that you put on. It has a little interior scene. It's just like really well done. It's a really well done Limex piece. I'm usually not a fan of just the bulb lit pieces, which is why I have the black light on it, but sometimes Limex just kills it with the bulb pieces, and that's one of them. And we have some landscaping in the front here with more gargoyles and trees. Some trees along the back here as well. And then if you can peek behind here, you see we have a hill, and I'll get to that shortly. But next we have the Broken Bell Telephone Company. I got this one new last year. I just think it's campy and fun. Like, it has a giant telephone on it. There's a ghost in a little telephone call box. There's a dead skeleton at the switchboard, like those bloody hands in the front. It's just so much fun and so campy and silly. And it's a nice change from the serious pieces like the mausoleum. So love that. Then next to that, I have the Dragon's Breath costume shop and the casket maker. This is another really old Limex piece. I got this locally on Facebook Marketplace from someone. I just think it's a gorgeous building and they did a really good job with it. It's one of the ones with the spinning ghosts in it. It doesn't spin too fast anymore and it's not that bright anymore. But it's just really special and it's so great. I did a nice little landscaping situation out front. I love how you can see the masks in the window and just some really nice detail there. And looking back this way is one of my favorite views. I love the long streets, you know, it's just great. All right, in advance, sorry for the noise. We have the Smoke and Mirrors Magic Shop, which was new, I believe, in 2024. I got this 40% off at Michael's. I got the last one, which was crazy because that was really when I started to get back into the hobby again, and I was collecting a lot very fast. I love this piece. I wish it was made out of resin or like, it's just so plastic looking and it's so big, and I think they had to make it so big to fit in the gags of, like, you know, the Pepper's ghost effect here and then this effect here where it's like half human, half person. I wish the scale better matched the rest of Spooky Town, but to me, how cool this piece is a payoff. It's a trade-off, you know, and I think it's worth it. That's why I have it in the spot that it's in. It's right in the front, so when you come and look at it, you're like, oh my god, that is so cool. You know, it has so much stuff going on. Honestly, I wish the rabbit would break because the constant popping noise is too much for me. I literally never have it on because of that, but I love everything else about it other than that. And then second to last here, we have a little Victorian carriage being pulled by the Grim Reaper. There's a skeleton and a casket in there, and I put I put a light in there to make it look like it's being lit up, and then it does have a black light shining on the Grim Reaper as well, which looks pretty cool and pretty spooky at night. I did that here because the side of this building doesn't have too much going on. I think it just was nice. There's even like a little alleyway down there with some pumpkins, like you can kind of see in there. Lastly, if you look behind the buildings, there is a cemetery on a hill, and that is where my village gets its name. So there's a little hill back there with a cemetery, a really creepy levitating skeleton reaper guy, another one of those orange trees, and some other just creepy headstones and stuff hidden back there on the hill. So the cemeteries are the main focus of my village. There's a lot to look at, but I love how that turned out. I did not have that little cemetery hill even planned, so that was one of the happy surprises of doing this, and it looks great from all angles. It's really creepy. Okay, so that was my 2025 Spooky Town Limax Village walkthrough. This is Cemetery Hill City. I hope you like it as much as I do. I hope you loved watching me build it. I had so much fun doing it, and I can't wait to make some amendments for next year. So what is coming next year? Well, I can't wait for Limax to come out with the pre-orders for 2026 in January. Genuinely really looking forward to that. I'm sure there'll be a lot of great new pieces that I'll want to add to the collection. Going forward with the village, I would love to get another table. I would love to get another table to put in the middle. I would love to have a big park to do something with it. Honestly, I've noticed that this area isn't very wide, and when people come to look at the village, they'll bump the table, and then sometimes things fall over and whatnot. So I think it would be smarter if I just got another table and we filled it all in. I think that could be a really awesome project. Maybe it could even have like a big Central Park situation. Maybe I'll finally get into the carnival theme a little bit more. I'm not too sure, but in doing that, I will have to, pull up some of the curbs to make like a cross street, or like maybe have a street going through the middle with a little, like a roundabout or a cul-de-sac situation. So that is definitely part of the future planning for Spooky Town. But after Halloween and in the downtime this year, I really, really, really want to take everything off. And I want to do a little bit of more of a black wash on my concrete because it's so light colored and bone colored that it doesn't really have, it's so light colored that it doesn't really have the kind of spooky warmth that I want it to have. I kind of like and adore that it has that kind of bone color, but at the same time it makes it less warm. And Halloween to me has a very warm, fuzzy feeling, and I want to reflect that in the village. It has a very nostalgic feel. When I think about Halloween in the past, I think about it being chilly outside, but it was warm in my heart, and it was warm as in like the tone of everything was very, orange. And I just want to reflect that a little bit better. So I think I'll do that as well. I really also want to add in some more specialty lighting like I've done here. I have thought about already adding in maybe some extra lighting to these houses so that they just come alive a little bit more. Some of the older pieces don't have all of that, nice like this, the nice directional lighting outside of it like they do now. And I could very easily add that in. It will just take a lot of wiring, but I could do it. And then I think lastly, I would want to rework this area a little bit. It kind of has a little bit of dead space, and I probably could have made a better walkway here or something. The planning for that didn't really go as I wanted to. In doing this section, this is where I kind of got a little bit I was feeling down on myself at that part of the village creation, and it got better, obviously, because I think the rest of this is wonderful. But that was my low point, I think, and I ended up having to move the train station from where I wanted it, and this section ended up being too big. And anyway, so there's something that I'd want to change, and I have a lot of little things that I'll probably be doing over the winter. Like I want to add in this little hairpin fence, I have some left over, to these stairways for the houses here. I want to remake these stairs and make them smaller so that they work better and make more sense, and they're not covering up the entire sidewalk. There's just a lot of things that I have done with the village where looking back, I'm like, okay, I've learned from that and I can make it better next year. And then I guess the last thing too is I want to get black boards, some like foam core boards or something to go along here and then along here. So I kind of want to close it off. But at the same time, there's a part of me that kind of wants the village to be more like in a line and less like a big huge table like this. It's difficult to, I'm lucky that I have the space to have it here like this. Now looking back on it, I'm like, I don't know if this layout was was really the correct kind of layout to do, if I'm being honest. I knew I was gonna bring it down here eventually, but I didn't think it was gonna be like this. So that was another challenge. Maybe I'll move this table over there and then this entire layout will change and it will be a long L. I could eventually add another table here if I wanted. I'm not sure. Things are always up in the air. I could dismantle the whole thing and redo it next year. I'm not too sure. So that's just how I've been feeling with it and looking back on it. I'm very happy to have what I have for this Halloween season, and I can't wait to show everyone and kind of show it off, if I'm being honest. That is the end of the video here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be having another video soon before Halloween because I have more decorating to do around the house. I have a few more village pieces on order that will be coming. I had a really low point this week and there's a lot of stuff on sale. So I ordered a few more pieces, not necessarily houses, but some accessories and things that we'll be putting in the village as well. So I will have a video for that. And I think today we're gonna be doing our outside decorating of the house for Halloween. Some of our neighbors have stuff up, so I kind of wanna get on it and get my hay bales and pumpkins and stuff. So I hope you all are having a wonderful fall season so far. I hope it cools down soon for all of us. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.